Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. It is time for the Matt Painter Show as we talk Boilermaker basketball. Matt Painter Show brought to you, as always, by GEMCO Constructors. GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of the Matt Painter Show and a proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors, boiler up. My name is Rob Blackman, and we appreciate you joining us here on this Monday. Joining me tonight, Assistant Coach Terry Johnson. He'll be filling in for Head Coach Matt Painter. And what a night for Coach Johnson to fill in for the head ball coach. He may have the easiest coaches show of all time because all we're going to be doing is gloating about Purdue's win over the #1 ranked team in the country, the Arizona Wildcats, on Saturday. Purdue winning that game 92-84, and because of that, the Boilermakers not only improved to 10-1 on the season, but they are now back to their rightful position, #1 atop the AP poll. As Purdue was named #1 earlier this afternoon, the Boilermakers moved from 3-1, and Purdue back atop the top 25 here in all of college basketball. So we'll talk to Coach Johnson not only about the win, but more importantly, what is still to come here on the Purdue schedule. Here on the Purdue campus, pretty quiet right now because finals are over. Most of the students have headed home. The basketball players haven't, however. Still got a little business to take care of. Purdue playing Jacksonville at home on Thursday night. A couple of housekeeping notes before we take a break and welcome Coach Johnson to the broadcast. #1, there is a Purdue football show right here at Walk-Ons this coming Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, as Ryan Walters will join Tim Newton to talk about signing day for the Purdue football Boilermakers. So that's Wednesday night here at Walk-Ons, 6 o'clock. As far as the basketball coaches shows, we're going to take a little bit of a holiday hiatus. We won't be back here until January 22nd to resume the coaches show. So January 22nd, we'll start back. Am I hearing some boos from the crowd? You can still come to Walk-Ons, everyone. We still encourage you to come to Walk-Ons. You just won't see the basketball coaches show until January 22nd. That is when we will be back here. But Purdue football comes your way Wednesday here at Walk-Ons at 6 o'clock to talk Boilermaker signing day. With that, we will take a break. Coach Terry Johnson joins me next. This is the Matt Painter Show, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
At a very high rate. Off the screen, pull up, pop, money, right off the bat. And both the Lawyer, Edey, another touch, working on Ballo. Drop step, can't finish, put back there, Trey Kaufman ran. Convert on the three ball, another second chance opportunity. Lawyer on the drive, probes through, hangs and hits. Edey thought about it, gets rid of it. Lawyer, open, deep shot, oh yeah! This Arizona offense so potent. There's Edey on a touch. Forced it all the way through.
You're going to look for those middle post-ups all afternoon.
Lawyer jumps the pass. Lawyer takes it in and puts it through.
Oh, you like action? We have got action in this one. There's some tired bodies out there. How about Fletcher Lawyer showing the defense on that play?
And now it's Edey on the steal. Purdue looking to run. Morton parking in the corner. Leave it. Edey, great pass inside, and the finish from Gillis. How about the first half? Handoff, Lawyer, slither of space is pure.
Oh, Arizona.
Jones misses. Caleb first has given some. Smith looking inside, finds Edey, working against Ballo. Just goes right to his spot, counting and a foul.
Umar Ballo going up and tearing the rim off.
Lawyer, big response. Circles around. Smith, show, stop, up and under. Puts it through. Full court pressure now from the Wildcats, broken with ease by Jones. Cross court, Lawyer, high off the window. He can do no wrong. Smith, pull up in transition. Second half, now a zone look from Arizona.
They're pulling everything out.
Lawyer makes him pay. Smith swinging around. Jones, a three. He knocks it down. Lawyer will inbound. Get it in for Smith. Right back to Lawyer, and they break that pressure.
Welcome back to the Matt Painter Show, presented by GEMCO. We are live tonight at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. Everyone needs a little playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Rob Blackman here with Purdue assistant coach Terry Johnson, as Coach Johnson fills in tonight for Coach Matt Painter. You know, only one game to talk about since the last time we spoke, which was last Monday night, but it's a pretty big game to speak on. That is, of course, the win over Arizona Saturday in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Before I talk to Coach Johnson with a couple of game-specific questions, let me say this. Purdue fans, you were absolutely awesome on Saturday. The building was full. It was a sold-out crowd. It felt like it was about 97% Purdue fans. Maybe I'm embellishing just a tad, but maybe closer to 96%. It felt like a home game, Mackey Arena South in a lot of ways. So Purdue fans, thank you for that. I especially loved the last couple of seconds as the clock was ticking away and you could hear the fans chanting, "Whose house? Our house." That was a nice little touch from the Purdue fans. So with that, I'll welcome Terry Johnson to the broadcast. And like I said, Coach, you have the easiest job of any coaches shows. Many a times, Coach Painter and I have had to sit there and commiserate after a tough loss or two. You got to talk about beating the #1 team in the nation. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Hey, don't think I haven't been thinking about that for like months now. Like so when we play Arizona, and then I get to do the coaching show. Right?
Yes, yeah. You're thinking, oh, this could go one of two ways.
Right.
Well, it went the right way for our ball club. There's no doubt about it. I thought, you know, so assistant coach Paul Lusk, who was with me last Monday here on the show, when he and I visited pregame Saturday, he said something to me, Terry, that really grabbed my attention. He said, when you play someone like Arizona, you have to be at your best or you're not going to have a chance. There are many games we've won over the years, as you well know, where maybe our ball club wasn't at its best, but you could still find a way to grind it out and win. Correct. That wasn't happening against Arizona. And I bring that up because from a coaching standpoint, did you guys feel like Saturday's game was your team's most complete game or best game of the season to this point?
Probably offensively, I would have to say, yes, on top of Alabama. But obviously our guys decided to play well versus two good defensive teams.
Yeah.
Now, I just watched film Arizona twice today, so I'm not real happy a little bit about some defensive things, but there are things we could get better at.
Funny, one of the defensive coordinators for a ball club watched the Arizona film twice today and is being uberly critical. Let's stay on the good side of things first, then we'll switch to defense. Offensively, what is it about Purdue? What is our team doing so well right now? Because you said it. Last two games, 92 points against Arizona, 92 against Alabama. Now, Alabama, okay, if you've been following them this season and you pay attention to the numbers and the metrics, Alabama's not been great defensively this year. Arizona was top 5 in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. You hung 92 on them. What is it that Purdue's doing so well right now?
Well, we got a great balance. Obviously, Zach Edey's consistency. No matter what game it is, you can expect good things from Zach. But as well, Braden Smith came on well. Fletcher Lawyer played well. And then, like a lot of our key players, everybody's doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, there are things that take place. Everybody see Braden score, Fletch, Zach. But there are so many other things that happen that guys sacrifice their body, whether it's screening or just doing their job, and it may not end in a basket for them, but it's for a teammate. And then PJ and Sasha have been doing a great job over there, preparing, getting the guys ready to what they expect from the other team's defense.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I think most that have been following Purdue basketball closely this year know P.J. Thompson has come on board as not only as a full-time assistant, but he's the offensive coordinator. He is running the Purdue offense, and obviously he is doing something right when you're putting up 92 points a game over the last two games against high-level competition. But you did say something there. I want to go down the road with you on this, down the path. You talked about players who maybe aren't scoring, showing up in the scoring column with, say, 27 points like Fletcher had or 22 like Zach had. But yet there's sacrifices you're talking about that they help make offensively our team better. What specifically are you talking about there?
Just knowing who to screen, when to screen, when to make the pass, how to make the pass. And then especially against Arizona, #2 defense in the country. And they know, they scout us. They know who to need to play off of, who you don't. So just a pass fake and then somebody screening it in, like, just doing your job, basically just doing your job, whatever, and it changes. It changes multiple times in a possession, and sometimes it doesn't go the way coach told you about it.
Yeah.
And now your basketball instincts have to take over.
They were giving up. You know this. Arizona was giving up 63 points a game. 92 minus 63. That's not quite 30. Awful close.
Right.
So you must be doing something right to put yourself in a position to score like that. But I think so often, especially as fans, and I'm guilty of this, you look only at the shooting and say to yourself, well, that's what determines a good offensive team. Yes, it makes a big difference. But Purdue's ability to offensive rebound,
Yes.
I know something that's Matt Painter's talked a lot about this year. And actually, I'll say this to you. Bobby Riddell said it on the broadcast Saturday. Often Purdue's best offense is just getting a shot up on the rim.
Oh,
what
for
a
sure.
luxury, right, to be as good of an offensive rebounding team as Purdue has been this season.
Yeah, you want to have more possessions. Like if we don't turn it over and we get a shot up on rim, we got a good chance of getting that rebound.
Right. Well, and Purdue didn't turn it over a bunch. Now, 13 times in the game, but when Arizona also turns it over 13, there's a wash.
It's a wash.
And if you're able to beat them up on the glass, that was the other thing too, Coach. Of all the numbers, and especially the halftime numbers that really jumped off the page at me, the way you were dominating the glass, +8 in rebounding at halftime against the #1 rebounding team in the country. Arizona comes in +17 on the glass per game. That was #1 in the nation. You guys were +8 at halftime against these guys.
Yeah, we made that a point of emphasis to the guys. Like, hey, you better box out. You better put a body in front of them. If not, they have beaten teams by 30 on the glass.
Right.
And we think we're a pretty good rebounding team.
Yeah.
But they were ahead of us in numbers. So we made sure that they knew that, and they made a constant effort to be the first to hit and then go get the ball.
Arizona was +2 on the glass in the second half, but we'll forget that for a moment. We'll skip over the rest. I want to talk to Coach Johnson on the other side of this break about the 5 guys, really more than that, more than 5, who helped prepare our Boilermakers for Arizona on Saturday. Purdue's scout team may have been at its best this past week. Coach Johnson's going to talk about that when we come back. This is the Matt Painter Show presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Pick and roll and going glass.
This Arizona offense so potent. There's Edey on a touch. Forced it all the way through. That is ridiculous from Zach Edey.
Oh, you like action? We have got action in this one. There's some tired bodies out there. How about Fletcher Lawyer showing the defense on that play?
And now it's Edey on the steal. Purdue looking to run. Morton parking in the corner. Leave it. Edey. Great pass inside. And the finish from Gillis.
How about the big fella at 7'4", running the floor, under control. This is so calm, cool, and collected.
Edey against Kravis. Bully ball.
That's just unguardable. If you're Kravis,
slow it down. Edey working on Ballo again. Drop step and finish.
Well, you can.
Smith looking inside, finds Edey. Working against Ballo. Just goes right to his spot. Counted and a foul. Zach Edey finding his rhythm.
Side help's not there. And Umar Ballo going up and tearing the rim off.
Lawyer, big response. Kaufman-Wren leaves it inside. Edey against Ballo for 2.
But look at
for Arizona. Lawyer lost it on the way up. Edey is right there to clean up the mess.
And that's why Purdue is so tough. And here's Edey getting on the offensive boards. We've seen the offensive glass.
Purdue, it has been a slugfest now in the latter stages of this second half. But that's what Zach Edey does.
Purdue just spread the floor there.
Smith inside Edey. Double comes. Back to Smith. Step into a 3. Bullseye!
Arizona again has just been late on that rotation.
Robbie, you saw this team a week ago in Toronto handle an early. Gillis inside. Edey against Ballo. Bully in the sandbox. Put 2 more up.
Snaking that pick and roll and going glass.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Matt Painter Radio Show. We're at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, a much quieter walk-ons than it was this time last Monday when the finals week had started. But we are still happy to have those of you who chose to come out and see us. Maybe most of the students are gone, but the die-hard fans are here tonight. So thank you for joining us at Walk-Ons. Thanks for listening on the radio, maybe on the Varsity Network app, and also, thank you. Maybe you're checking us out visually. Lucky you, watching Coach Johnson and I visually on the Facebook app or maybe the X or YouTube, the Purdue YouTube page as well. Where we are putting a recap on that Purdue win over #1 ranked Arizona this past weekend at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis. 92-84 was the final. By the way, I should have mentioned this earlier. Fletcher Lawyer named the Big Ten Player of the Week earlier this week. Yeah, actually earlier today. It is the 4th time, I think, right, Chris? 4th for Fletch. No, 2nd time Big Ten Player of the Week. 3 times last year as Big Ten Freshman of the Week. For those watching on camera, I'm looking off to my left. Chris Foreman who handles our strategic communications for men's basketball, sitting to my left. Last year, Fletcher won Big Ten Freshman of the Week 3 times, but one of those weeks, he was also named the Big Ten Player of the Week. So he's Freshman of the Week, Player of the Week in the same week. This week, today, earlier named Big Ten Player of the Week for his 27 points, which matched a career high. His other 27-point performance came against Tennessee earlier this year. Wouldn't you know it, the two best defenses we faced, Terry Johnson, he's had his best game offensively, and he also had a career-high 4 steals. That was, man, I liked that. I liked a lot of things about Fletch Saturday, but how active he was defensively may have pleased me the most. He was really a guy that was helping us out on the defensive end, don't you think?
Fletch did a great job defensively with his effort was there, his activity with his hands. And with Fletcher, normally if Fletch have a bad game before that next game, he's normally locked in a little bit more. He pays attention to things, to scout things. He like a little bit more locked in just because he understood he didn't play well. He feels like he let his team down, and he doesn't like feeling that way.
Sure. Well, he was not letting Purdue down on Saturday. Okay, I mentioned going to the break. Because you and Coach Lusk handle the defense, that means when you're trying to get Purdue ready defensively for an opponent, you have to lean very heavily on not always all of the walk-ons. There are some scholarship players that work their way into the scout team, but it's walk-ons and some scholarship guys on the scout team. You were telling me before the show started, your scout team last week may have been at its very best in preparing for Arizona. They actually, at times, looked like Arizona.
They did. You know, like when you have a good team, everybody has to make sacrifices, right? Everybody want to play. Everybody want to play a lot of minutes. We have 2 scholarship guys on the scout team, Will Berg, Brian Waddell, and then the rest we have walk-ons, Carson Barrett, Chase Martin, Josh First, Jay Sherrill, and Sam King. And last week they were on it. If you're trying to prepare your team to be ready for your opponent, the guys that's running their scout team, the other team's offense, they have to go at a great pace and give your guys a real look. If not, they're not going to understand the level that they need to play out. And our guys, they were kind of lax a little bit defensively this week, and you know what? They made them pay. Brian Waddell, Wilberg, they're steady, getting better. And those guys, like if they get an opportunity to play, I think they'll be ready just because their mindset and their approach they take day to day.
Okay, so even my limited knowledge allows me to guess that Will Berg played the part of Ballo for Arizona. I'm probably correct in that. Caleb Love, though, I'm dying to know who got the chance to be Caleb Love for our scout team.
That was Brian Waddell. And
Waddell, nice.
He embraced that road a lot because he got to shoot the ball.
Shoot it all the time, yes. Who wouldn't want to be that guy?
And there's no such thing as a bad shot.
Not for Caleb Love.
No, it's not.
I know this is the Purdue radio show, but I must give a tip of the cap to Caleb Love. He was unbelievable Saturday. Some of the shots he was making.
Like Caleb Love, he's a weapon. Like he's always been. When we faced him, he's at North Carolina, in Massachusetts. And what I like about him, like everybody's been on him. He's doing a lot better this year than he has in the past. Just being patient. Like I think he has a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. And kudos to him and whoever told him like you need to be better. And he embraced it. And he wanted to be. Everybody want to be a pro.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk totally about Caleb Love, but like he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he was. Well, okay, so now who got to be Keyshawn Johnson? Because that was the other guy for Arizona, and I was like, wow, this guy is a big-time player.
So we had 2 Keyshawn Johnsons. One was Sam King.
Sammy King,
Sam did a good job, and
nice.
then Sam had to go take a final, so he had to leave practice early.
Okay.
So we immersed Josh First in, and Josh First got a bucket right away.
Josh First. Please tell me it was against Caleb.
No,
brother.
It was not against Caleb. No, we wish it was against Caleb. No.
That would have been awesome. So you're telling me we had guys had to step away from practice to take finals?
Yeah.
They actually have to be real student athletes around here. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I love to hear you say that, by the way. More with Coach Terry Johnson when we come back. This is the Matt Painter Show. It's presented by GEMCO. This is the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Engine for this offense, and he's been feeding Edey at a very high rate. Off the screen, pull up, pop, money, right off the bat.
And both these teams, when the shot goes up, that's when possessions really start. It doesn't go, but I love Boswell's change of pace. He's just so shifty and hard to guard.
Smith all the way for 2.
Boy, Edey sealed off Ballo beautifully.
Boswell just keeps getting better. Feels like with every game he plays for the Wildcats.
Well, pass.
Great behind the head wraparound, but it was taken away. First with the quick hands. Smith looking inside, finds Edey. Working against Ballo. Just goes right to a spot. Counted and a foul. Zach Edey finding his rhythm. Circles around. Smith, show, stop, up and under. Puts it through.
And that's a spot where so often this year when he's jump stopped.
The coverage, allow that mid-range jumper. Both coaches are hoping for inside-outside game. Just like that, Braden Smith, splash.
And he said at halftime, he just told them, hey, we have to hang with it and trust each other, Noah.
Well, they gave up Purdue 49 points. That's the second most the Boilermakers have scored in the first half this year, and Lawyer just picks up.
I mean, that's a big-time athlete in Keyshot Johnson. Beautiful pocket pass. But Edey doing a great job contesting.
Smith, way too strong. Smith, pull up in transition.
Things seemingly going Purdue's way. Braden Smith just looking for his offense.
Smith, inside Edey. Double comes, back to Smith. Step into a three, bullseye!
Arizona again has just been late on that rotation.
Robbie, you saw this team a week ago in Toronto. Handle and early. He is the engine for this offense, and he's been feeding Edey at a very high rate. Off the screen, pull up pop.
The 2023-24 Purdue basketball season is presented by Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Earn a degree you're proud of and employers respect. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Rob Blackman here, hosting the Matt Painter radio show as assistant coach Terry Johnson fills in for Coach Paint here tonight. Again, big thank you to those who have chosen to come out and see us tonight. It's the last time you'll see the coach's radio show here at Walk-Ons until January 22nd. That's when we'll return after a long holiday break. Doesn't mean we don't have a whole lot of basketball still for you. This Thursday night, Purdue does have a home game, 6:30 against Jacksonville. Then the Boilermakers will get a couple days off for Christmas. Not a whole lot of time because Purdue comes right back and plays then December the 29th back at Mackey Arena against Eastern Kentucky. And then it's right back into Big Ten play January 2nd at Maryland. So it's about to get real busy here real fast for our Boilermakers. Coach Johnson, we were talking about that win over Arizona, and why not? What a win it was for Purdue. I would be interested in knowing, last week was finals week. I had a little fun with you about the fact that Sam King had to leave early for a final in practice. How do you work around practice during finals week? Because obviously all the players have different schedules for finals. How do you find time to get everyone there at the same time and actually get some quality work done?
Yeah, that's not my job responsibility. The guy that does that has done a really good job of trying to figure that out, and Bloom handled that well. And a lot of times our guys, they're done almost before the actual finals week before.
Sure.
And then a lot of their classes are online, so that helps out too. And we just try to find the right time to give them time off and make sure they have enough study time. And the basketball stuff, that piece, it works its way out with the practice. And you can practice a little bit earlier too at times, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, I know last week you guys did have a couple morning practices, right, just because it worked out easier for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we've always spent through the first, what are we in here, 30 minutes or so? Yeah, roughly 25, 30 minutes of the show. We've just been gloating about Purdue and the win over Arizona, and offensively how good our Boilermakers were. Oh, my goodness. As the defensive coordinator, as you said right out of the gate, you spent today watching the Arizona game back not once but twice, and you have found a few flaws defensively, Coach Johnson. What areas would you like to see our ball club clean up here?
Well, you know, when you in the moment in the game, you think their defense is great. They were flying all over the place. We was getting deflections, getting out in transition, and they were having a lot of fun during that time, right?
Yeah.
But also, you playing a good team like Arizona, you're going to give up some stuff. And as coaches, we nitpick. We do.
Yeah, sure.
And it's more so after the game while we're watching film and things and just trying to find things that we could do better on so it doesn't hurt you later on.
Yeah.
And like you talked about, we still have 2 more non-conference games, but then Big Ten play starts. And those games are grinding. So you want to limit as many easy baskets as you can. And you just basically go back and work on your fundamentals. That's basically what we end up viewing things. Like we weren't doing things that we normally do, like our job, like one specific thing, just like, I don't know, just trail a screen. Mm-hmm. Like don't go under, don't encounter the screen, don't grab them. Just little things like that.
So with that in mind, let us continue down this path. When Coach Painter spoke with not only me on the radio network post Northwestern, but also with the rest of the media, he was quite pointed in saying that he felt at that time, coming off the loss at Northwestern, that Purdue needed to find some two-way players. We didn't have enough guys that were giving the effort on the defensive end that they were giving on the offensive end. Since that loss to Northwestern on December the 1st, do you feel like maybe we're getting closer to having some two-way guys, more two-way guys, I should say, that are putting forth that effort on the defensive end?
I think the effort has been there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be perfect, obviously. You can't change things overnight, but the effort is there. You could change the effort. You could determine how hard you play and how active you are.
Yeah.
It may not be perfect the way we wanted to execute it, but just that activity kind of create chaos anyway.
Sure.
And you kind of saw that a little bit Saturday against Arizona. We got some deflections that we probably wouldn't normally got if we didn't have the effort. And you know, like you talked about, Boilermaker Nation was livid. It was live in there on Saturday. Like,
it was great.
I've been part of a lot of Crossroads Classic. You got different teams in there, but like I've never been in there with that type of.
Yeah.
It was in Mackey.
Right.
It was Mackey.
It felt just like Mackey Arena. It's interesting. So we're coming out of that loss to Northwestern. Coach is talking about trying to find some more two-way players, putting a real emphasis on defense. And your team was challenged right away because you have Iowa, who was the top-scoring team in the Big Ten at the time, Alabama, who was top 5 in the country scoring at the time, and Arizona, number 2 in the country, coming into the game and scoring. So if there ever was a time to, get things figured out on the defensive end, it had to be this 3-game stretch. So if we could just put it into a capsule of these last 3 games, defensively, how much better do you think has Purdue gotten? What strides have been made?
Numbers-wise, it says we got really good.
Yeah, numbers-wise, yes. Well, and 3 W's doesn't hurt.
3 W doesn't hurt. Like, obviously, winning, you can kind of relax a little bit and be like, oh, we're really good. But no, let's go back and see, are you doing what we're trying to do, what your job? Like, when we get off script and do things that we haven't been taught, that's when we find ourselves getting in trouble.
Sure.
And that's the area that we Coach, how we doing? Coach Waters walked in here.
Coach Ryan Walters. He doesn't have to be here till Wednesday for the signing show, and he's here tonight. Now that's a dedicated Purdue head football coach.
And he got one of his sons with him, and I love it.
Yeah,
like, people don't understand our jobs. Like, it takes us away from our families, and we try to keep them around us as much as we can. And they have a good life too. They experience some great things.
Well, like, now we're down this path. Now we're down this path. For our listeners, do you have how many sons?
I have 3 boys. Twins. They turned 11 yesterday.
Oh, so it was their birthday yesterday.
Birthday was
nice.
yesterday.
11 years old. By the way, we did give your wife a shout out. Was it 3 home games ago? She had a birthday the same day as
on the 4th.
It might have been the Iowa. Yeah, was it the Iowa game? I can't remember.
Game December 4th, I think.
Yeah, so we did give her a shout out on the radio that night, by the way. So I'm going to share this story. Hopefully I don't embarrass you.
No, you're okay.
Coach Johnson was telling me this Saturday after a big win over Arizona. I was like, Coach Johnson, this is great. You get Sunday off. Coaches, the players get Sunday off. No, the guy sitting beside me did not have a Sunday off. His boys are very active in multiple activities, sports, in theater, and music.
Yeah.
And basically, you and your wife, yesterday, Sunday, the off day, were from everywhere to Portage, Indiana, to Westfield, Indiana.
Well, on the game day, my wife was up in Portage for gymnastics for my youngest son.
Yeah, forgot to add gymnastics
and then
in there.
they came down to the game at the end. They saw all the happy Boilermaker fans coming out.
Yes. So they got there right as the game ended?
And
of course.
The twins were at the games with some family members. We was up south of Crawfordsville for wrestling yesterday from 9 o'clock to about 4:45.
Wrestling in Crawfordsville, yes.
Jordan was in Indy for soccer training for 3 hours, 2 sessions of 3 hours. And then we had to get them back. We got home about 4:45, get them all dressed up. Got to get to Jeff for basketball games. And they won the championship, so I was proud of them. They worked hard. Their teammates, it was great. And
that's a heck of an off day for you and your wife.
Yeah, and then we had bundt cakes about 9 o'clock.
Celebrated with bundt cakes.
Celebrating with bundt cakes.
You talk about wrestling in Crawfordsville. You know, the Ultimate Warrior is from that neck of the woods.
Really? Didn't know that. I had to tell my
How many in the audience knew that the WWF legend, the Ultimate Warrior, is originally from just outside Crawfordsville, Indiana? Did anyone know that? Come on, yes, thank you. Of course, John knew, yes. More in a moment with Coach Johnson. We've just kind of gotten off the beaten path here. That's
sorry
okay.
about that.
More in a moment. This is the Coach Painter Show, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
On the 3 ball, another second chance opportunity. Lawyer on the drive, probes through, hangs and hits.
And when you're struggling with your jumper, he was 0 for 5 in Toronto against Alabama.
Which is more customary. There's Morton looking for Edie. Thought about it, gets rid of it. Lawyer, open, deep shot. Oh, yeah!
It's amazing how if you just see one at the rim, got up with them, pushed them off the block, and Purdue going to look for those middle post-ups all afternoon.
Lawyer jumps the pass. Lawyer takes it in and puts it through.
Oh, you like action? We have got action in this one.
Crowd into it now. Get it inside. Boswell the pro. Another steal. Up ahead. Morton to the rim. Gillis leaves it. Morton. Extended minutes in the first half. Handoff. Lawyer. Slither of space is Bjorn.
Well, Arizona just getting caught up in all the action in that painted area. The weak side help's not there. And Umar Ballo going up and tearing the rim off.
Lawyer. Big response.
Just not good enough on the rotation there.
And he said at halftime, he just told them, hey, we have to hang with it and trust each other, Noah.
Well, they gave up Purdue 49 points. That's the second most the Boilermakers have scored in the first half this year, and Lawyer just picks up. Full court pressure now from the Wildcats, broken with ease by Jones. Cross court, Lawyer to high off the window. He can do no wrong.
This is Purdue breaking the press. I like Tommy Lloyd testing and taking the temperature.
Nearly 5 minutes into the second half, now a zone look from Arizona.
They're pulling everything out.
Lawyer makes him pay.
I haven't seen Arizona run.
Smith swinging around. Jones a three. He knocks it down. Convert on the three ball. Another second chance opportunity. Lawyer on the drive. Probes through. Hanks and hits.
And when you're struggling with your jumper, he was 0 for 5 in Toronto.
Purdue Athletics would like to thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who support Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Global, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Rohrman Automotive Group, and Wabash, each great partners of Purdue Athletics. By the way, I've just been told, this is not the nugget for the night, by the way, but I've just been told by a very reliable source that Coach Johnson's wife, Kristen, is actually nicknamed the Chaos Coordinator for what she does at their home, keeping everyone on task. Time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. I typically try not to use the same Boilermaker twice in the same season. But after what Aiden O'Connell did last Thursday night for the Raiders, I mean, come on, man. I gotta hit up AOC again. Most know by now, but he led the Raiders to the win over the Chargers, where the final score was 63-21, 63 points, the most points ever scored in that franchise's history. 248 passing yards for him, 4 touchdown passes. Raiders are now 6-8. And I tell you what, for a guy who was third on the depth chart when the season started, he's now played in 8 games. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. He has a rushing TD. That's not bad for the guy that started the season as your third-string quarterback. And by the way, the next matchup for the Raiders, Christmas Day, Monday, a week from today, against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I hear they have a fairly decent quarterback, too. So that'll be a good matchup for Aiden O'Connell. Back to basketball. Purdue this week has a home game. It is Thursday night. It's against the Jacksonville Dolphins. It is at 6:30. Coach, before we talk about that, Coach Terry Johnson, here we are, basically, for all intents and purposes, a third of the way through the season. You're 11 games in, 31 regular season games before you get into postseason play. So if you could give us a state of Boilermaker basketball, a third of the way through the season, what you like, where areas of improvement still need to happen if this team wants to continue on this. Right. It's a very successful path it's on right now.
Well, I like everything that's going on right now. I just want our guys to, like, just win the day, whatever day it is, whatever job responsibility you have. Just do the best you can and enjoy that, and enjoy all of this, because it's not, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be in this position. And their hard work from the summer, and like, just enjoy it. Like, offensively, we're at the top. Defensively, gotten better each year since I've been here. It's gotten better, and they're embracing that side of it, obviously, because offensively, I used to scout against this offense like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's a lot. Yeah. It is a lot, and I mean, the guys have gotten better defensively and embracing that side of it a lot more, and just continue to win today. Like, these guys, they faced a lot of adversity from that deal that happened a long time ago.
We remember.
way back then.
Yes, March, yes.
Yeah, back in March. Like, just enjoy yourself. I mean, like, they're young. Like, and then I don't want to change this up, but a lot of people at them on their social media stuff. And, like, they're kids. They're going to read it. I can't stand social media, but I'm on it. I have to be because of my job. But I just tell the guys, just enjoy it. Just win the day. That's all you have, right? We're not guaranteed that next day. So enjoy your day. Enjoy your family. Have a blast. Be young. Enjoy playing college basketball. I think that's what it's about.
Well, I would say this. It looks to me from, I wouldn't say the outside. I'm on a little bit on the inside, certainly not like you are, but it sure looks like this group is having a lot of fun, man. It looks like they really enjoy playing with one another. Am I seeing it correctly?
You're saying it exactly right. We took a foreign trip this summer. The guys got closer. We wish we had Zach with us, but he was with Team Canada, and our families was on the trip. But they have a blast. Like, I mean, like, I've been in part of a lot of great teams and a lot of good players and, like, a lot of great people. Like, my kids now, I couldn't wait for them to get to age where they could be around these players like this.
Sure.
And, like, and they have a blast. They have handshakes with them. And, like, there's other kids, families, like, they all have a blast together. And, like, to me, that's what college basketball is about. And, like, we don't get caught up. I mean, we read, see comments. My wife see comments all the time. But I try to ignore her when she asks a question. But, like, we use some of it as motivation, but some of it is just people's opinion. Like, they don't know. They're not, enjoy the moment. Have fun. Everybody the people that talk bad about you, they want to be in your position. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And my position is pretty good.
You are in a pretty good position. That is well said, Coach Johnson. That could be an all-timer right there on a monologue, if you will, on the soapbox here on the Coaches Show. More with Coach Terry Johnson in a moment. This is the Matt Painter Show presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Beating Edie at a very high rate. Off the screen, pull up, pop, money, right off the bat.
And both the
Lawyer, Edie, another touch, working on Ballo. Drop step, can't finish. Put back there, Trey Kaufman-Wren. Convert on the three ball, another second chance opportunity. Lawyer on the drive, probes through, hangs and hits. Edie thought about it, gets rid of it. Lawyer, open, deep shot. Oh yeah! This Arizona offense so potent. There's Edie on a touch. Forced it all the way through.
Who's going to look for those middle post-ups all afternoon?
Lawyer jumps the pass. Lawyer takes it in and puts it through.
Oh, you like action? We have got action in this one. There's some tired bodies out there. How about Fletcher Lawyer showing the defense on that play?
And now it's Edie on the steal. Purdue looking to run. Morton parking in the corner. Leave it. Edie, great pass inside, and the finish from Gillis.
How about the
first half? Handoff, Lawyer, slither of space is pure.
Arizona.
Jones misses. Caleb first has given some. Smith looking inside, finds Edie, working against Ballo. Just goes right to his spot, counted and a foul.
Umar Ballo going up and tearing the rim off.
Lawyer, big response. Circles around. Smith, show, stop, up and under. Puts it through. Full court pressure now from the Wildcats, broken with ease by Jones. Cross court, Lawyer high off the window. He can do no wrong. Smith, pull up in transition. Second half, now a zone look from Arizona.
They're pulling everything out.
Lawyer makes him pay. Smith swinging around. Jones a three. He knocks it down. Lawyer will inbound. Get it in for Smith. Right back to Lawyer, and they break that pressure immediately.
It's the Matt Painter Show. It's presented by GEMCO, and we're live tonight, as we always are, at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. Everyone needs a little playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Assistant Coach Terry Johnson fills in for Matt Painter. Coach mentioned this kind of in passing in the last segment, and I have to jump into it with both feet here. For those who don't know Terry Johnson's background, he's been around a couple of spots as an assistant, both Butler and Ohio State, meaning he has coached against Purdue and against Matt Painter. So with that, Terry Johnson, without giving any secrets, how difficult is it to prepare for a Matt Painter offense?
Very hard, extremely hard. And then having to be fortunate enough to be the offensive coordinator for 2 years, that took me a little bit of a minute too. you got so much terminology. It's like a football playbook almost. And you got different terminologies. You have different actions, multiple actions that you have to try to defend. And then you have a 7-footer somewhere around the paint somewhere.
Yes.
With a lot
because it's Purdue, so they're going to have a 7-footer in the paint, yes.
With a lot of skilled shooters around. So, like, and then there's going to be this one odd person that just could do magical things that could totally just, you could scrap the whole offense. Because he could do something special, like whether shoot, drive, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem because you can't guard everything.
Yeah.
You can't guard the 3-point line. You can't cover that 7-footer. And then that one person that just does magic stuff. And we seen that in Jaden Ivey.
That's funny. I was thinking in the back of my mind, you're thinking Jaden Ivey, but I wasn't going to say it.
Jaden Ivey, and then I had a run-in with Carson Edwards, too, that I didn't like that day. And I had to drive home from West Lafayette to Columbus thinking how just got whooped by 40. And they just won the Big Ten title, too. So.
Yeah, Carson was pretty good, too. What's it like coaching in Mackey on the visitors' bench? What is that like?
You can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I remember my very first experience, obviously growing up in Anderson and coming to Mackey, playing in semi-state here and watching Troy Lewis when I was growing up. But opposing coaches, like I'm at Ohio State first year, and Coach Holtman was like, Terry, you're not going to be able to scream as much and help defensively. I was like, I should be all right. I'll be all right. And then the game got started, and Coach was like, what do you think? I was like, I can't yell anything. They can't hear. I said, we got to pray that our preparation worked.
Yeah.
And the guys knows what's going on, and, like, the fans were, like, ridiculous, right on top of me, and I'm trying to yell out, and I'm like, they can't hear. I'm losing my voice. It's a fun environment, obviously. Everybody enjoy it. But from that other bench, it is not fun.
Not fun, yeah.
It's not fun at all down there. And I was fortunate enough on that day to –
you guys, when you were with Ohio State, you guys won a game here, I remember.
Yeah, we got a tip in, and I let PJ know about that.
PJ was on the team?
PJ was on that team. I tell him, I said, PJ, we weren't guarding you. It was too many other good players. we had to give up something. And fortunately, that day, you wasn't making threes.
So your game plan worked.
It worked. It worked that day.
More with Coach Terry Johnson when we come back. This is the Coach Painter Show, brought to you by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Pick and roll and going glass.
This Arizona offense so potent. There's Edey on a touch. Forced it all the way through. That is ridiculous from Zach Edey.
Oh, you like action? We have got action in this one. There's some tired bodies out there. How about Fletcher Lawyer showing the defense on that play?
And now it's Edey on the steal. Purdue looking to run. Morton parking in the corner. Leave it. Edey. Great pass inside. And the finish from Gillis.
How about the big fella at 7'4", running the floor, under control. This is so calm, cool, and collected.
Edey against Kravis. Bully ball.
That's just unguardable. If you're Kravis,
slow it down. Edey working on Ballo again. Drop step and finish.
Well, you can.
Smith looking inside, finds Edey. Working against Ballo. Just goes right to his spot. Counted and a foul. Zach Edey finding his rhythm.
Side help's not there. And Umar Ballo going up and tearing the rim off.
Lawyer, big response. Kaufman-Renn leaves it inside. Edey against Ballo for two.
But look at
for Arizona. Lawyer lost it on the way up. Edey is right there to clean up the mess.
And that's why Purdue is so tough. And here's Edey getting on the offensive boards. We've seen the offensive glass.
Purdue, it has been a slugfest now in the latter stages of this second half. But that's what Zach Edey does.
Purdue just spread the floor there.
Smith inside Edey. Double comes. Back to Smith. Step into a three. Bullseye!
Arizona again has just been late on that rotation.
Robbie, you saw this team a week ago in Toronto handle an early. Gillis inside. Edey against Ballo. Bully in the sandbox. Put two more up.
GEMCO Constructors, supporting your Boilermakers, is the presenting sponsor of the Matt Painter Show, proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors says boiler up. This is the Matt Painter Radio Show, and it is brought to you by GEMCO Constructors. Rob Blackman with assistant coach Terry Johnson talking Purdue basketball. One thing we enjoy about those who make an effort to be with us here live at Walk-Ons each and every week is we get to celebrate some things with those folks. Like Alicia, who's here tonight celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Alicia, happy birthday to you. Hope you enjoy. And by the way, when I'm done here and Terry and I walk away, please be sure to pat the voice of Purdue women's basketball, Tim Newton, on the back when you see him. He's coming in after us to talk Purdue women's basketball. Tim, on Wednesday, will have his 1,000th play-by-play call of Purdue women's basketball on Wednesday. Yeah. Boilermakers playing an early game Wednesday. It's an 11 a.m. tip-off at Mackey Arena. Tim will be on the call for that one, his 1,000th play-by-play call of Purdue women's hoops. That is pretty awesome. Terry Johnson, let us talk about what happens Thursday. Most of this university is on Christmas break. The basketball team is not.
Right.
One more game to go. Thursday night, the Jacksonville Dolphins. They had an early morning game today, right, against Robert Morris, like 11:30 in the morning they played. Do you know if they won? I didn't pay attention.
They did win.
Okay, so that means they'll be 8-4 coming in here. Eastern Kentucky then on the 29th, then back to the Big Ten schedule. I know as a coach you're going to tell me, oh, we can't look ahead to that Maryland game. We can only take them one game at a time. But I will ask about this, and I ask Coach Painter this every year at this time. Keeping everyone on that team focused on the task at hand and not having one foot out the door for Christmas break. How tough of a challenge is that?
That is tough, especially when all the students leave campus.
Yes, right.
It makes it a little harder. But our guys know we have short-term goals that we're after. And Jacksonville and Eastern Kentucky are in the way of those goals. Yeah. So, like I said, talked about earlier, like enjoy each day. And sometimes I like to tell the guys, like, you never know who's first time in Mackey getting to watch you play. Right? So, like,
good call.
You want to be your best every time you step out on the floor. So, like, you want to make sure, like, at Christmas time, a lot of people do come back home, and it's their first time in Mackey.
Sure.
They're able to buy a ticket because the students are gone,
yeah,
right?
Right, yes. They can actually get a ticket.
Yeah, you can actually get tickets. So, like, we want to play Boilermaker basketball. We want to be at our best. Regardless of who we play, we want to play the level of the Boilermakers, not to anybody else's level. And hopefully everything works out. The results will take care of itself. But it starts tomorrow when we prepare. Like, they took yesterday off and today. That's part of the preparation, getting their rest. And then when we start putting the game plan in tomorrow and be ready to go.
Final segment of the Matt Painter Show. When we come back, this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Engine for this offense, and he's been feeding Edey at a very high rate. Off the screen, pull up, pop, money, right off the bat.
And both these teams, when the shot goes up, that's when possessions really start. It doesn't go, but I love Boswell's change of pace. He's just so shifty and hard to guard.
Smith all the way for two.
Boy, Edey sealed off Ballo beautifully.
Boswell just keeps getting better. Feels like with every game he plays for the Wildcats. Oh, what a great behind the head wraparound, but it was taken away. First with a quick hands. Smith looking inside, finds Edey. Working against Ballo. Just goes right to his spot. Counted and a foul. Zach Edey finding his rhythm. Circles around. Smith, show, stop, up and under. Puts it through.
And that's a spot where so often this year when he's jump stopped.
The coverage, allow that mid-range jumper. Both coaches are hoping for inside-outside game. Just like that, Braden Smith, splash.
And he said at halftime, he just told them, hey, we have to hang with it and trust each other, Noah.
Well, they gave up Purdue 49 points. That's the second most the Boilermakers have scored in the first half this year, and Lawyer just picks up.
I mean, that's a big-time athlete in Keyshawn Johnson. Beautiful pocket pass, but Edey doing a great job contesting.
Smith, way too strong. Smith, pull up in transition.
Things seemingly going Purdue's way. Braden Smith just looking for his offense.
Smith, inside Edey. Double comes, back to Smith. Stepping with three, bullseye!
Arizona again has just been late on that rotation.
Robbie, you saw this team a week ago in Toronto. Handle and early. He is the engine for this offense, and he's been feeding Edey at a very high rate. Off the screen.
All right, everyone, here we go. Final segment of the Matt Painter Show to take you into the holiday break. Again, we won't speak to you again until January the 22nd, at least on the Coaches Show. So with that, I wanted to give you a nugget that maybe, just maybe, will brighten your holiday spirit. And by the way, this was a very difficult one. I almost gave up on it about halfway through the project. It became so difficult. But for you folks, I wasn't going to give up. So here you go. When Purdue plays Thursday, December the 21st, Purdue will be playing on the shortest day of the year. Yes, December 21, the winter solstice. The shortest day of the year as far as daylight goes for those of us in the Western Hemisphere. So I got to thinking a couple of weeks ago, who's the shortest Purdue player to ever play in a game on the shortest day of the year? Yeah, this was a tough one. Do you know that Purdue has played 36 times on December the 21st since we started playing basketball back in 1896? 36 times. Actually, I messed that up. 37 times. The problem is 10 of those times happened before World War II. The problem there is the record-keeping pre-World War II isn't great. Sometimes I could find a roster, but it didn't list the height, or I might find a roster, but it didn't say who played in what game. You didn't have a box score. So if you'll show me a little grace, I'm not sure what happened pre-World War II, but post-World War II, I can tell you this. There may be some in this room thinking to themselves, I wonder if it was 5'7" Joe Campbell back in 1954 when Purdue beat Washington University out of St. Louis. Well, it wasn't Joe because in '54 he was a freshman, so he wasn't eligible to play on the varsity back then. Some might be thinking, was it 5'6" Tim Irwin, who once played for Gene Cady? Well, Tim was on the team December 21st, 1993 when Purdue beat Chattanooga, but Tim actually didn't get in the game that day. I have that box score. He didn't appear in the game, so technically he didn't play as the shortest player on the shortest day of the year. So that leaves only two left. 5'9" Bob Schneider, who on December 21st, 1949 helped Purdue beat Case Western Reserve 75-54. But there's one more that was also 5'9" tall on December the 21st, Lewis Jackson. Perhaps you remember Lou. Purdue Fort Wayne, December 21st, 2010, the Boilermakers beat Purdue Fort Wayne 77-52. Lou had 8 points and 8 assists. Bob Schneider, Lewis Jackson, 5'9" tall, the shortest Purdue players ever to appear in a game on the shortest day of the year. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and Happy New Year, everyone. We'll speak again on January 22nd. This has been the Matt Painter Show. Thanks to Morgan Woods, Wes Scott, and Terry Johnson. I'm Rob Blackman. Hope you have a great New Year and a great holiday.